Do you know which one?
Oh, yeah. Yes, so you'll do the consent agenda.
It looks so professional doing it, though.
I'd like to call the November 2019 Poquoson City School Board meeting to order. And first is going to be our pledge to the flag. Our pledge leader tonight is Bella Bray. Bella is a third grader in Miss Farringer's class. Bella plays the piano and sings. She has also played field hockey for 4 years. At school, Bella loves science because of the cool experiments they do. She thinks she would like to be a pediatric nurse someday because she has helped take care of her cousins and her sister and loves children. Last summer, she took a trip to Australia to visit her grandparents and other relatives. She thinks Australia is a fun place to visit because they have a lot of playgrounds and parks where there are crafts for children to make.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, Bella. Thank you. And our inspirational reader tonight is Brooke Grisco. Brooke is a fourth grader in Miss Steigerwald's class. Brooke is part of the Poquoson Islanderettes. She also enjoys playing the piano and field hockey. At home, Brooke has 2 pet boxers named Titan and Layla. Brooke is very creative and loves to draw and paint. At school, Brooke enjoys math class. Good girl. And she likes to design things and thinks that in the future she would like to use her love of math and art to be an architect designing buildings or to work for NASA and design rockets and airplanes. Brooke is going to read an essay she wrote in support of National Unity Day titled "Stop That Bullying."
Did you know that October is National Bullying Prevention Month? Well, National Unity Day happens to fall right in the middle of it. It's when you take hold of kindness. Here are a few things you can do to support kindness. First, you may want to read a book about kindness or feelings. For example, Ben Rides On, Peaceful Piggy, and an Usborne book, all about feelings. This can give you an idea of what bullying prevention looks like. Next, I have a couple things you can do to sprinkle kindness like confetti. Include everyone. No one likes being left out. What about wearing orange? Of course you can, especially on National Unity Day. That is one way to encourage kindness to people because one bit of kindness goes a long way. I recently read a diversity acrostic poem. Each letter on diversity stood for something to support anti-bullying. D, different. I, individual. V, value. E, each other. R, regardless of. S, skin. I, intellect. T, talent. Y, ears. The purpose or cause of this is to remind people to stop bullying. As the great Maya Angelou said in her poem, "Still I rise." You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. I hope people will take her words to heart as much as I do and support one another instead of bullying each other. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. You both did a very nice job. Next is student presentations, and students, if y'all would wait just a little while after your presentation, we're going to take a break so we can come out and talk with you. Students from Ms. Farringer's fourth grade class will be sharing a presentation on an unplugged computer science activity called Network Sort. This is an activity that teaches students about the new computer science as well as through a cross-curricular activity using mathematics and computer science. Students presenting include Bella Bray, Lainey Ferguson, Victoria Winchester, Logan Sasser, and Eli Carducci.
Hi, as some of you may know or may not know, Virginia was the first state to adopt computer science standards of learning. And this coming fall is going to be the beginning of that mandate. So the ITRTs have been working hard at trying to make sure that we are incorporating those standards in different content levels. And this is one way in which we're doing that. It's called the network sorting. Lainey here is going to start us off and introduce it to you.
This is a sorting network. Students walk on it and using computer science, we can sort things. In our class, we sorted numbers because we were learning about place values. We start at the input, then we walk on the yellow lines. We stop at the events, which are the triangles. You keep going until you get to the output, which is the other side. If you do it right, the numbers will be in order from least to greatest at the end. We went outside for this activity. Teachers were on this side. Computers are the people on the network mat, and others held computer science words. All the people got a turn. It was fun. The class had a good time.
At the events, you had to meet and talk with someone. We followed an algorithm, which just means a rule. You look at the numbers that are different, and if it's smaller, then you go to the left. If it's bigger, then you go to the right. You keep doing this until the end. This is called looping. Then it will end up in order at the end.
So there are two types of people, the teachers and the computers. The teachers on the side watch the computers sort, and at the end, the teachers go up to the computers and check the numbers to see if they're in order. The teachers give a thumbs up if it's right and a thumbs down if there is a mistake.
If the output was wrong, we had to start over and talk about where the mistake was. We had fun finding our mistakes. It is fun learning how to debug. It helped us with our math, but we also learned about computer science. It's not just for math. We did this in the library for ABC order, putting books on shelves. It can be used for a lot of different things. I hope you enjoyed learning about network sorting.
Do we have any additions, modifications to the agenda?
We do not this evening.
And next is recognitions. Dr. Parrish?
Yes, as Dr. Carter moves over to the podium, I would like to first start with our volunteer of the month. Is Ms. Wolf here? Oh, there we are. If you could come forward, please. Gigi Wolf is Poquoson Elementary School's Volunteer of the Month. Gigi worked 19 years for PCPS as a paraprofessional at Poquoson Elementary School. She served 10 of those years working with special education and then 9 as a paraprofessional in the library. After she retired, Gigi began working for the city at the public library as a circulation assistant for the Children's Services. In this position, she leads storytime, Lego, and STEM activities for children. Gigi has been invaluable to the PES library in her former role as a library assistant and for the last 3 years as a library volunteer. She is our key helper during book fair when she comes as many days and nights as she can to help at the cash register. She knows by heart the cost of most items and works well with the students to help them get the most bang for their buck. She helps us keep the budget balanced and identifies products that need to be reordered. Between our 2 yearly book fairs, she usually gives about 25 to 30 hours of her time to assist us. Book fair is just one facet. She will come in whenever we need assistance covering and processing new books. If there are tips from the public library on book care or new book selections, she is willing to share and teach us. As part of her work at the public library, she comes a few times a year for books for breakfast. Of course, she uses that time to connect with the students and see what she can do to help us. Gigi has been instrumental to our PES Battle of the Books competition held in February the last 3 years. She has run the buzzer board, calling on students to answer the quiz questions. In general, if she thinks we need her help, she is here in an instant. We are so lucky to have her expertise and her generous spirit as part of our team. Please join me in congratulating Gigi Wolf for being the Volunteer of the Month at Poquoson Elementary School. Next, we'd like to recognize our Senior of the Month, so I ask that Brendan Smith come forward. Brendan looks very familiar to us up here. Brendan is a PHS October Student of the Month. He is a member of the SCA, the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, the Spanish Honor Society, Student to Student, and Model UM. He has competed for our school as a member of the JV and varsity soccer teams, the varsity cross country and track teams, and our academic challenge team. He has also served as a student representative for the PCPS School Board and the PCPS Anti-Bullying Committee. Most notably, he is the current drum major and section leader for the Islander Marching Band. Outside of school, Brendan has earned the rank of Eagle Scout, was a 2019 Virginia Boys State Delegate, and a page for Virginia State Senate. If all of this wasn't enough, he has volunteered numerous hours through coaching, tutoring, various fundraising activities, mission trips, and other church-related activities, and he is presently employed as a member of the Scare Squad for Busch Gardens Hollow Scream. Upon graduation, Brendan plans to further his education by studying finance and commerce, and I have no doubt, after my interactions with him, that he'll be successful. Please join me in congratulating Brendan for being our Senior of the Month. Our next recognition is for our WISE Gold Star teachers, and we may have one who was unable to come tonight, but I know that Amy Smith and Michael Smith are here. They could come forward, and I don't see Mr. Sophis. Our 3 PHS teachers received the 2018-19 Gold Star Award from WISE, which represents working in support of education. To be considered for the Gold Star Award, a teacher must achieve a 93% pass rate in at least one of their classes on the WISE Financial Literacy Certification Test. 3 of our economics and personal finance teachers achieved this impressive goal and are awarded that Gold Star Award. Please join me in congratulating them on being recognized for the accomplishment that they had and their students had. Don't go, come back up. Now I'm sending Mr. Roberts up to join you. Oh, you're good. As part of our economics and personal finance program at PHS students take the WISE Financial Literacy Certification Test. It is my pleasure to announce that Poquoson High School received the Blue Star designation from WISE for the 2018-2019 academic year. Congratulations to them. A school testing more than 10 students must have achieved an 80% passing rate on the financial literacy certification test and have either a majority of students on a given grade level take the test or have the students who took it achieve an average score of 85% or higher. This is no small feat. Once again, congratulations goes to PHS students and staff for an outstanding achievement, and sincere thanks for your tremendous hard work in helping to improve the financial literacy of our community's young people. Please join me in congratulating these teachers, our assistant principal, and the school as a whole.
Now we'd like to take that break so we can meet with you.
Finance things. There you go.
We'll go into presentations and reports, and first up is Ms. Woodruff with the financial update.
Good evening, Chairman Carter, members of the school board, and Dr. Parrish. For the finance report this evening, I wanted to review the budget calendar for the upcoming fiscal year 2021 budget process. You should have at your seat the full budget calendar. Between December and March, we will hold meetings with the PCPS Benefits Committee to discuss division benefits as they relate to the budget. We anticipate that the release of the governor's budget proposal will be on December 16th. However, we will not receive the Virginia Department of Education calc tool at this time, which outlines the state funding for school divisions. This is published after the release of the governor's budget, which means we may not know what the governor's budget means for us until sometime in January. On January 8th, the General Assembly session begins. FY21 is the first year of the biennium, so this will be the longer session that ends in March. We will hold a budget public forum with the school board on January 30th, which is an opportunity for the community to provide input on the budget. And during January through March, the school board will receive budget updates and discussions will be held at work sessions. On March 17th, Dr. Parrish will present the proposed budget at the school board work session. And on March 24th, the school board will need to hold a special meeting for a public hearing on the proposed budget. There will be a work session afterward if needed. The school board can decide to take a vote on the budget approval at that time. However, if it's not approved at the March 24th meeting, the school board will need to hold another special meeting on March 26th for budget approval, so we can forward the school board approved budget to the city by the end of March. There are multiple opportunities for the community to provide input on the budget. The superintendent seeks faculty and staff input on the budget. Parents and community members are encouraged to attend the public forum and the public hearing. Input can also be provided through Let's Talk, which can be accessed through the PCPS website. Additionally, you may contact the superintendent by calling, visiting, or sending an email. We do anticipate another challenging budget process this year and appreciate your input and continued support. And that concludes my report.
Anybody have questions there, comments? Thank you very much. And next is operations update to include the PMS modernization project with Mr. Pappas.
Good evening, Chairman Carter, School Board, Dr. Parrish. In the area of food service, as is our tradition, this week we have the Thanksgiving lunch at both PES and PPS. Actually, last week was PES. They had a 20% increase in parental guardian participation, up to a total of 237 in addition to our students. Today was the first day of 2 days of service at the primary school, and we have over 312 reservations for parental units. In the middle school modernization, PCPS staff met with architects to review various design options, and the architects continue to identify opportunities within the building to be responsive to the feedback that they've received. Additionally, the architects assisted us by drawing a site plan for the temporary classroom site to be located at PES. PCPS will be given trailers by local school divisions, which provides a tremendous cost savings for the school division. PCPS conducted a non-mandatory bid conference this week with, or was that last week, with several prospective companies who are interested in bidding on relocating the classroom trailers to PES and PHS. These are coming from Suffolk, Hampton, and Virginia Beach. The current plan is to start the relocation of the trailers this February. PCPS is working closely with Dominion Energy to bring the necessary power for the temporary classroom trailer site that will be in front of PES. We already have power at the site where PHS is. And that concludes my presentation.
Comments?
Just that I was one of the 200 and some odd people at the elementary school, and it was really good food. Good job.
Thank you. Aramark does a nice job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Fox with the instructional update.
Good evening, Chairman Carter, Vice Chair Sheeler, members of the board, and Dr. Parrish. My instructional update this evening will continue our fall data review to include advanced placement and scholastic aptitude test data. In 2018-19, Poquoson High School students took 20 different AP courses and completed 256 AP exams. These AP courses were taught at Poquoson High School, the Governor's School, or online through the Virtual Virginia program. These courses are weighted, they're college-level courses, and our students choose whether or not to take the AP exam in May. Oops, sorry. At Poquoson High School, 77% of the AP exams that were taken received a score of 3 or higher. Our students outperformed their counterparts at the state and the global level once again this year. Students who take an AP course and score a 3 or higher may receive college course placement credit at a higher entry level, or they may earn a credit for that class depending on the college and the acceptance rate there. For the 2018-19 school year, we saw a slight decline in the overall scores for students who took the SAT. We are above the national average, but fell just below the state average. 72% of our seniors took the SAT in 2018 and 19. This chart shows you a little bit more information about the SAT scores from 2018 and 19. In reading, writing, and math, students scored just under the state average, but above the national average. In our work session later this evening, we will provide additional information for you related to these scores. And then finally tonight, we just have 2 dates for future events that we wanted to share with you to try and get them on your calendars. On Thursday, February 6th, we have our career fair for students in grades 8 through 12, and it'll be held at the high school. And on Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m., we have our annual K through 12 instructional night and STEM showcase, which will also be held at the high school. This is an event that will showcase some of the great instructional work that our students and teachers are doing all school year, and we'll also have highlights from STEM projects and various demonstrations from various community vendors. This concludes my report this evening.
Questions there?
Thank you
very much, Dr. Fox. Do we have any public comment? Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Sheeler, would you like to walk us through the consent agenda, please?
Yes, the consent agenda includes the approval of the financial reports, the approval to accept and change appropriation, and to accept and expend funds in accordance with the attached request, the approval of personnel action, and the approval of minutes of October's regular meeting and work session.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Ms. Reimers?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Matters for consideration. Item A, consideration of approval of Poquoson City School Board governance forms and protocols. And last year, the board attended a retreat with people at the state school board office. And one of our business items was to revisit our school board governance norms and protocols and to kind of discuss those and fine-tune those. And that was the primary intent of our trip, and thought it went really well. So that's what this is about. And do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments there? Thank you, Ms. Reimers.
Mr. Holman?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Troutman?
Aye.
Mr. Friedman?
Aye.
Vice Chair Sheeler?
Aye.
Chairman Carter?
Aye.
Motion passes
Item B, consideration of approval of first reading of changes to policy 2TAC 3.1, community involvement in decision-making, to the second reading. Dr. Parrish.
Yes, as we like to do is we will go back and review current policies to see if we need to make updates to match the practice. As you know, in June, we always bring forward to you a stack of policies that have been affected by General Assembly decisions. But this one really is intended to better align the language in the policy with our current practice in terms of planning. So what you'll see attached to the reading file that you have is a real markup of this section to describe what really is included in our comprehensive plan. We are required by Virginia Code to have a comprehensive plan, but we have a number of plans that meet the requirements for the comprehensive plan with different titles to them. So what we're providing here this evening are those changes, so you can see all the different plans that we have, how they meet the state requirements. And we used to call our strategic plan our long-range plan, but it became a strategic plan a number of years ago, so you also see that language updated in here. So what we're doing tonight is bringing this forward to you as first reading with the recommendation that you move it to second reading.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments there? Reimers?
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Troutman?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Vice Chair Sheeler?
Aye.
Chairman Carter?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
And last item is consideration of approval of first reading of changes to policy 2TAC 3.6, visitors to schools, to second reading. Dr. Parrish.
Yes, sadly, we believe that we need to include some new language in one of your policies because unfortunately sometimes we do have visitors who come to our school, and by visitors I mean adult visitors. They may be volunteers or they may be parents who can become disruptive to the learning environment. So to assist our principals as they work with these people, I thought it was important we had some specific language in policy. So if a parent or a visitor of any type becomes disruptive while they're in school, that the principals have the policy behind them that they can ask these if they're disrupting the environment. And by disrupting the environment, maybe that this occurs in front of students that are in the building, but also sometimes they can become disruptive as they interact with employees as well, and can sometimes raise safety concerns as well as just the concern of them being very disrespectful. So that is why you're being brought this policy. Please know that this has been vetted by our attorney so that the language will not create any legal. So with that, I recommend we move it to second reading.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And the second?
Second.
Any questions, comments there? All right, Ms. Reimers.
Mr. Holcomb?
Aye.
Ms. Hessel?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye.
Mr. Troutman?
Aye.
Mr. Freeman?
Aye.
Vice Chair Sheeler?
Aye.
Chairman Carter?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Next, communication, Dr. Parrish.
Yes, first you will have noticed we have an empty chair tonight, but for a very exciting reason. Our school board rep, Jamie, is actually at the high school right now playing in the volleyball game for the semifinals. So very exciting. I'm sure it's a lot louder over in the gym there than it is in our chambers this evening. So she's not here, but she did dutifully make sure that I got a copy of her report that she normally reads. So we have put that at your seats so that you're able to read that report. And hopefully when we see her next time, they not only won tonight, but then maybe won the state championship this weekend. So best of luck to volleyball as they're playing tonight. I also just want to give an update to the community. We did do the survey, and I'm going to actually talk about that in the work session in terms of getting input on what's important to our communities, our teachers, our students, if we were to change our school calendar and open school before Labor Day, now that we're legally allowed to do so. What, as a region, we decided is that we will not alter that calendar for next school year, so we will have our normal start right after Labor Day, because we just need to make that decision too early if we were going to do it, because we knew that we already had parents scheduling vacations into late August, and could potentially wreak havoc, especially those that were booking vacation homes or tickets. So next year will be a more typical school calendar, and then the Peninsula School Divisions are continuing to work to look at the data that each received at the survey and make a decision as to whether or not we will bring forward a recommendation the following year to do a pre-Labor Day start. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew they could make vacation plans for next summer, knowing that school will start the day after Labor Day, which I believe may be September 8th. It's actually a late start this coming year. Yeah. Also, as you can tell from the report from Mr. Pappas, while you're not seeing the work necessarily that's going into the middle school renovation project, we are daily working on the issue, whether it's in communication with architects or the work that he and others are doing to get us ready to move students at the start of next school year into the elementary and the high school. So I just want to rest assured we've got a lot going on. And next week is Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody has a wonderful vacation. Just a reminder, schools are closed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as are school offices. So those of you that are traveling, I hope you travel safe, and we'll come back, and then we have only 3 weeks until winter break. It's going to fly by. Those are my comments for the evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Holcomb.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no comment tonight.
Wow.
Can you relieve it?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Helsel.
I just have a few comments. To echo Mr. Troutman, I had a great time at the elementary school with lunch, so Steve, you're phenomenal job. Also, in addition to volleyball, congrats to all of the other high school sports that have done so well. I know field hockey did phenomenal, had a great season. Football, I know they have another playoff game this weekend, so good luck to all of them. Holiday.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, hope everybody has a great holiday, and it's a tough moment seeing field hockey lose in the state championship game in overtime. Just a tough way to end the season, and a very good James Monroe team, mind you. So I've lost a state championship coaching basketball in overtime before, so I know how that feels. So in that moment, you feel like you let some things slip away, but another great season from Coach Chapese and the rest of her staff and their students. Best of luck to volleyball, and then football, I think, travels to King William
on Friday.
On Friday night. So best of luck to our football team as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Troutman.
Well, to Dr. Parrish and to the principals, I just wanted to say thank you for putting this board meeting specifically together for our board, it looked like, because we had, when we got started, Mr. Freeman to my left was all excited when Brooke Briscoe said something about being excited about science, and he gave us a yes. And then the next speaker said something about being excited about math and working the math problems, and Dr. Carter went yes. And then we had financial literacy blue star, so Jeremy and I went yes. Somebody wanted to be a nurse, so Christy was yes. And we got a public speaker in Grisco's children, so we cover law to an extent, and engineering I'm sure is in there, and so the presentation, this was all about the board. I don't know how you did that, but that was really, really good, and I wanted to draw that. It's all about us. We know that. And so thank you for that. That was great. Now, honestly, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope they have a very safe holiday, and again, congratulations to all of our sports teams. It's pretty awesome to get good feedback, and I know from the report that we just continue to share how awesome our school system is out and about in the community. When you're talking about our SAT scores being higher than the national average, when you're talking about our accreditations of our schools and how we're performing and all those things, we got to continue to tell that story to anybody and everybody that will listen, because that's just it drives the community to rally behind these schools. So give your teachers a pat on the back, give your staff a pat on the back, and then anybody who's possibly listening at home, because the audience is slim tonight, please help tell the story about how great Poquoson City Schools are.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Freeman.
I'd like to talk about a field hockey team and making it to the States again for the second time, and that's quite an accomplishment. And if I'm correct, that's a combination of 1A, 2A, and 3A, and James Monroe is a 3A school, so that kind of makes us a 2A state champions.
That's a good way to look at it.
That's right. Different way to look at it, maybe. I hope volleyball wins tonight and continue their success, and again, the football team. I'd like to thank the young ladies that led the pledge this evening, and Ms. Griscoe for her unity speech. That was a nice little speech. And I'd also like to thank just the administrators at the high school and our central admin here in this building. They're often overlooked for all their hard work, and they don't always get the congratulations and thanks they deserve. So thank you all for doing such a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Sheeler.
I just wanted to say best of luck to Jamie's volleyball team. Playoffs, that's very exciting. And I loved Brooke Briscoe's inspirational reading and the concept of sprinkling kindness and her breakdown of all the letters of the term diversity. Very, very cool. That's all I have.
Thank you. I would just like to encourage everybody to take some time over the next week or so and really focus on the things that we all have to be thankful for, and make Thanksgiving more about being thankful than about eating turkey. Do we have any material for board review?
We do not this evening.
With that, we will adjourn to the work session.